My manager and coworker framed me for fraud, got me fired, and tried to ruin my life. Now she's in prison, she's deported, and I've won it all back. I'm 35, and this is the story of how my life was flipped upside down by people I trusted, how they tried to destroy me, and how they ultimately ruined themselves instead. It starts with what I thought was my dream job, working at a mid-sized tech company. The pay was solid, the team seemed friendly enough, and the work was engaging. My manager, let's call her manager, was a micromanaging type but tolerable at first. There was also this one coworker, who clearly thought she was better than everyone else. She was close with manager, and their relationship felt a little too cozy at times. Things started to shift when I got assigned to lead a major project. It was a big deal and a great opportunity for me to shine. But it didn't take long for Coworker to start showing her true colors. She wanted the project for herself and wasn't shy about making that clear. She started nitpicking my work, making subtle but cutting remarks in meetings, and undermining me in front of the team. Manager began echoing her criticisms, which felt coordinated but hard to prove. Then weird things started happening. The project files I was working on would suddenly have data missing or incorrect values, usually overnight. At first, I thought it was a technical glitch, but the pattern became too consistent to ignore. I flagged the issue to manager, thinking she'd have my back, but she dismissed it with a wave of her hand. "Just fix it and move on," she said, as if I was being overly dramatic. That was when I started backing up everything, keeping records of every single change. About a month later, manager called me into her office. She accused me of mismanaging the project and claimed there were client complaints about my performance. When I asked for specifics, she gave me nothing. "You know what you did," she said. It was clear I was being set up, but I didn't have enough evidence yet to prove it. I decided to stay quiet and document everything even more meticulously. Then came the HR meeting. They called me in one morning and told me I was being placed on administrative leave due to allegations of misconduct. I asked them what they were talking about, but they refused to give me details, saying it was under investigation. I was told to pack my things and leave the building immediately. As I was packing, I saw a coworker watching me from across the room with this smug look on her face. That's when I knew she and manager had been working together to get rid of me. A few weeks later, HR called me back for a follow-up. They told me their investigation had concluded and that I was being terminated for data manipulation. They wouldn't show me the evidence, and I knew I had no chance of fighting it without proof. I walked out of there furious but determined to get to the bottom of it. The fallout wasn't just professional, it hit my personal life too. My wife, who I'll call wife, was less supportive than I expected. Instead of comforting me, she was more concerned about how it would look to others. "What are people going to think?" she said. "You need to figure this out before it embarrasses us." Her words stung, but I was too focused on clearing my name to dwell on it. Then the rumors started spreading. A friend in the industry called me one day and said, "Hey, I heard you got fired for fraud. Is that true?" My blood boiled. Manager and coworker weren't just content with getting me fired. They were trying to destroy my reputation entirely. I decided I wasn't going to let them win. I started digging. I went through old emails, project logs, and backups, looking for anything that could expose what really happened. I reached out to some former coworkers, asking if they'd noticed anything strange. That's when one of them, let's call her ally, told me she'd overheard coworker bragging about how easy it was to get rid of me. She also mentioned that coworker had been logging into my project files late at night, even though she wasn't assigned to the project. That was my first break. I hired a lawyer and filed a wrongful termination lawsuit against the company. During the discovery phase, we subpoenaed internal records, and that's when everything started to unravel. It turned out coworker had been tampering with my project data for weeks, altering files to make it look like I was incompetent. Manager not only knew about it, but had actively encouraged her to do it. They'd fabricated fake client complaints, altered timestamps on emails, and manipulated data to build a case against me. But that wasn't even the worst of it. During the investigation, my lawyer discovered they were using my project to cover up their own embezzlement. Manager and coworker had been skimming company funds and needed someone to take the fall when discrepancies started popping up. I was their scapegoat. With this new information, my lawyer didn't just focus on the wrongful termination case. We reported the embezzlement to the company's legal team and filed criminal complaints. The company acted quickly. Manager was fired and arrested for fraud, and coworker was also terminated. But things didn't stop there. During the investigation, it came to light that coworker had falsified her work visa. She wasn't even supposed to be in the country. Within months, she was deported. While all this was unfolding, I noticed a sudden shift in my wife's behavior. She became even more distant, spending more nights out with her friends and refusing to discuss anything about our future. One night, I overheard her on the phone, laughing and saying, "I'm not going to tie myself to someone who's falling apart." That's when I realized she wasn't just distant. She was actively planning her exit. A week later, I discovered she'd been cheating on me with one of her friends. I confronted her, and she didn't even try to deny it. "You're a mess," she said. "I deserve better." That was the final straw. I filed for divorce the next day. Things should have ended there, but they didn't. Coworker, even after being fired and deported, filed a defamation lawsuit against me from abroad. She claimed my accusations of embezzlement and sabotage had ruined her reputation and caused her emotional distress. Her lawyer demanded a large settlement and threatened to take the case to court if I didn't comply. I wasn't intimidated. I forwarded the lawsuit to my lawyer, who countersued for malicious prosecution. We presented all the evidence we'd gathered from the wrongful termination case, including proof that she had tampered with my project data and participated in the embezzlement. During the proceedings, it came to light that coworker had also been selling sensitive company data to competitors while still employed. The court not only dismissed her case, but hit her with additional legal penalties for industrial espionage. By the end of it, she was facing multiple lawsuits and financial ruin. Meanwhile, manager decided to retaliate in her own way. She started a smear campaign against me on social media, using fake accounts to spread rumors that I had fabricated the embezzlement evidence and framed her. She posted on industry forums, trying to paint herself as the real victim. A few people even reached out to me, asking if the rumors were true. I didn't respond publicly, but I wasn't going to let her get away with it. I hired a cybersecurity expert to track the fake accounts, and sure enough, we traced them back to manager. With this new evidence, I filed another complaint against her, this time for defamation and witness intimidation. I also shared the evidence with her parole officer, which landed her in even more legal trouble. To make sure her lies didn't gain traction, I contacted a well-known industry publication and shared the full story, including all the legal documents and evidence we had collected. They ran a scathing exposé about manager's actions, titled "Disgraced Manager's Revenge Campaign Backfires." Her reputation, which was already in tatters, was completely destroyed. She became a pariah in the industry, with no chance of ever rebuilding her career. Just when I thought the dust was settling, my ex-wife decided to jump into the chaos. She started reaching out to mutual friends, and even my family, claiming she was entitled to a portion of the settlement I had received from the wrongful termination case. Her argument? That as my wife at the time, she had supported me emotionally through the ordeal and deserved compensation. She began showing up uninvited to family gatherings, playing the victim. "I stood by him when he lost everything," she said, conveniently leaving out the part where she cheated on me and mocked me behind my back. I confronted her directly in front of everyone. "You didn't stand by me," I said. "You cheated on me and cared more about your image than our marriage. You're not entitled to anything." She tried to argue, but my family wasn't having it. They'd seen her true colors by then. To ensure she didn't try anything else, I had my lawyer send her a cease and desist letter, warning her that any further harassment would result in legal action. That was the last I heard from her. In the end, manager was serving a lengthy prison sentence, coworker was deported and facing multiple lawsuits, and my ex-wife was left scrambling to rebuild her life after alienating everyone around her. As for me, I cleared my name, won a hefty settlement, and landed a new job at a better company. Sometimes karma takes its time, but when it comes, it hits hard.